Alright, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Well, I don't know how ready that is. Hey everyone, welcome back to the... Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Every time. Why is it always the intro that gets you?
I don't know. It's because, like, I'm not talking to... I'm talking, but I'm not talking to...
The intro gets you and the outro gets me.
Every time. Alright, hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
And on today's murder menu is...
Westley Allan Dodd, a.k.a. the Vancouver child killer. But first, some trigger warnings.
Yeah, definitely some trigger warnings.
Essay of a child in graphic details. And language. So viewer discretion is advised.
Very, very much so. If you are not one for cussing and you are those one type of people who, oh, serial killers are humans and they have rights, this video is not going to be for you. You can scroll up.
Catch us on a next episode.
Yeah, we may be nicer then. I don't know. Just depending.
Highly doubtful this is us.
Westley Allan Dodd, born on January 3rd, 1961 in... I forgot how to say that. Did you remember how to say that? Toppenish, Washington. To his mother, Carolyn Dodd, and Wesley J. Dodd. Wesley was the oldest of 3 children.
Dodd grew up in a loveless environment. Oh, poor baby. Environment, and he always felt overlooked because his parents favored the youngest children. I could not get that sentence out. And was bullied as a child. Aww. Dodd was described as socially awkward.
Aw, poor guy. Nobody cares.
Aww.
At the age of 13, Dodd started to expose himself to children. Then, the following year is when Dodd had molested his younger 2 cousins that were just 8 and 6. Even though Dodd was caught and ordered to counseling, that didn't stop the monster lurking inside of him. So, in one article, it actually states Dodd discovered that he had a thing for younger boys at 9 years old.
So is his excuse literally he didn't get hugged enough as a child?
Yeah, which oddly you would think that not getting affection would not really make you an affectionate person. And some forms of sex is just affection.
Yeah.
See, he swears he wasn't actually, like, abused, but I don't feel like you just wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to be a sexual molester of kids. I mean, I don't know how a serial killer's brain works, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think at 13 most boys are walking around wanting to see another boy's banana and berries.
I don't know. Boys are gross. Not sexually, they may not, but mine's bigger than yours. Nah, boo-boo.
Well, yeah, like the measuring thing, but not... The measuring aspect,
not wanting to physically touch wieners.
But, yeah.
When you can just touch your own.
I don't see a 13-year-old boy wanting to...
Not one that's not been physically touched before in that aspect.
Exactly. You're not just going to want to wake up and say, hey, I want to see what his sword looks like. Like...
Here, fishy. No, you're not going to want to, but in this aspect, he wanted to. And the thing is, though, is he didn't even go for, like, boys his age. He went for younger, which is gross and sickening. And
probably so he could feel...
From what I understand, he was exposing himself to both sex, but girls were apparently tattletales. Girls told on him more than the boys did. Because what boy's gonna want to go up to their dad back in the day and be like, yeah, so this weirdo just flashed me his penis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just see the dad, like, you couldn't even mention the word gay back in the day. Like, I can only imagine how that went. So, let's talk about the next slide.
Throughout his teenage years, Dodd began picking up odd jobs being a babysitter and account camp counselor.
A camp counselor.
It literally says
I know what it says. Google autocorrect just does not work.
But okay, so we'll have to cut this part out.
Or we'll just leave it. Whoever cares. A camp counselor.
A camp counselor, which made finding victims even more easier. He would convince them to play games like spin the bottle, which seemed innocent until it wasn't. Dodd was arrested on several occasions, but let off with every slap on the wrist. With just a slap on the wrist every time.
What makes no sense to me is, how did he get a job being babysitter and a camp counselor with having those previous...
And he had to have hid this stuff very well.
Another thing that kind of doesn't intrigue me but pisses me off is the judge or judges, whichever one. They knew he was a monster and kept just, go to counseling. Like, Jesus ain't gonna fix you being gay. Jesus ain't gonna fix you wanting to molest children. Like,
right.
I mean, I'm not saying they sent him to Jesus camp, but a lot of times back in the day, they sent them to Christian camps to try and fix them. You can't fix a predator. Once a predator, always a freaking predator. You just can't fix them. They're not fixable. And I feel like in this case, the judge just played it off as he's just a young boy. You know, he doesn't know what he wants.
So would they do, like, send him to a conversion camp? Is that what you're saying?
I think, to me, it makes me wonder if they didn't, though. Because he didn't get jail time. He got slapped on the wrist. And it never went on his permanent record.
How could it not?
He was a juvenile. At the age of 18, records are expunged.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well, they're not expunged, but I'm pretty sure they're either expunged or they're sealed.
They're sealed, yeah.
So in 1981, soon after high school, to avoid punishment again, Dodd joins the U.S. Navy, which you would think he would stop searching for victims, but it actually made it easier, and Dodge just focused on the children on base he was actually stationed at, and he would frequent a local arcade place, because what better way to find children than to go find games?
Right. He would pay children $0.25 to show them different body parts. Dodd would be discharged after being accused of offering money to young boys for sex on the base. The U.S. Navy didn't press any criminal charges.
Nope.
Why?
I don't know. But once again, he was able to get just a slap on the wrist and not even have to worry about anything. They just discharge, send him back, and they had to know that they were creating a monster, because each time they boosted his ego.
Yeah,
with how far he could go. He didn't molest any of the boys on base technically, but just seeing their body parts, getting off on that, and then just getting away with it, they were just creating a bigger monster.
I mean, how would that even come up in a conversation?
Here, kid, I'll pay you $0.25 if you let me see your... Yeah, genitalia.
That would have to be that would just have to be the weirdest.
But here's the thing, they wanted to play more games, so of course they're like, yeah, sure, I'll show you a body part for $0.25. What can I do for $1, you know? And it's crazy. After being discharged, the years following, Dodd was at least arrested on 3 more molestation or attempted molestation cases. In 1984, Dodds was arrested for molesting a 9-year-old boy and given a 10-year sentence. But the judge commuted his 10-year sentence to just 4 months with mandatory counseling. Motherfucker, what point of counseling didn't work 6 molestation cases ago that it's going to work now?
Yeah. And
castration. Cut that shit off.
And the thing is, what's pissing me off, he is not a very smart criminal. He keeps getting caught.
Yeah, well,
the cops keep letting him go, but he keeps getting caught.
Yeah, he doesn't try and hide any of it.
That's what is so frustrating.
Yeah, he just keeps doing it. But here's the thing. You continuously continue to get out of it. I almost said the other word, and that would have been totally different. Continuously measle out of it. Your ego's only going to boost. What can I do next? I can touch boys. Boys can touch me. And the most I'm going to have to do is serve a little bit of time and
pass out a bunch of quarters.
And pass out quarters and talk about my feelings. Oh, I'm sorry. What made you like little boys? Oh, I don't know. No, motherfucker, you weren't born that way. You're just disgusting.
The mandatory counseling did not work. It just made his sexual desires grow. No shit, Sherlock. Even more stronger and go into darker paths.
Well, yeah, you're just literally feeding his ego. And in 1989, Dodds would take the lives of Cole Neer, William Neer, and Leslie. Leslie.
Mm-hmm. That's how I would pronounce it.
Yeah, well, Google Translate just spells it to you, so we're just going to go with it.
Yeah. Google Translate just was no help with that one.
Yeah, that bitch just got lost in translation.
In a diary... Oh, sorry. In a diary, he plotted his fantasies and wrote out his murders and gave detail. He plotted rapes and drew up blueprints and ways to torture and murder his victims. And even made a pact he claims to have had with Satan. A parent's worst nightmare is the true boogeyman lurking in the neighborhood.
Yeah, he claims he made a pact with Satan. All right, and this gets even more disgusting than even the fact that I have to talk about it. But there's an entry from Dodd's diary that quotes, I've now asked Satan to provide me a 6 to 10-year-old boy to make love to. Suck and fuck, play with, photograph, kill, and do my exploratory surgeries on. That is the pact that he claims to have made with Satan.
This guy is just disgusting. They just keep getting worse.
They're serial killers. They're not gonna get any good ones. I mean, unless we could get a serial killer that literally goes after killing serial killers, or a serial killer that just targets rapists and pedophiles, I'm okay with that. I'll cover that any day of the week. But a motherfucker's got to just... It's either...
There's actually one that took after the TV show Dexter.
Ew, we'll have to look into that one. I like the movie Dexter. I like the TV show Dexter.
I cannot remember his name.
I like that show.
Yeah.
I watch that show all the time.
So do I.
I'll literally watch reruns. And yet, we have no life.
We watched the newest season.
Oh, yeah. I hate that they got rid of Deb, though. She's my favorite.
I know.
Little dirty mouth.
She reminded me so much of us.
I know. But it just... With serial killers, here lately, the ones that we've been finding are either they like their bodies dead, or they have a preference where their children or they're not over the certain age. But this guy has to top the cake with pedophilia in the case that we've covered so far. And at least in my opinion, he has to top the cake on that one.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he and they released like quotes from his diary, which if I can find a few more, I will link them in this video at the end.
Yeah.
I will link them at the end of this video because there's a few more, including like, I think there's a couple of him actually talking to the news too. If I can find a good quality, I'll try and link it in the video.
And he doesn't even seem to be the least bit sorry.
Oh no. God, no. And we'll get more into that. Like, he showed zero remorse on what he did. He basically said, like, look, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and you got two options. Either kill me or let me do it.
And on September 3rd, 1989, Dodds wrote up a plan to kidnap a child from David Douglas Park in Vancouver, Washington. In his diary, it quoted, if I get it home, I will have more time for various types of rapes rather than just a quickie before murder.
Yeah, like he didn't seem to have any sentimental value to it. It was just like getting his rocks off and then murdering. But I feel like the only reason why he switched to murder, though.
I mean, why murder?
Well, murder is because a dead person can't talk.
Well, neither can a blow-up doll.
I mean, well, the general idea is a murdered person cannot talk. But in actuality, if a person stares at the body long enough and puts the pieces together, the body talks.
Yeah.
But his idea is I can get my rocks off and not leave any witnesses. Which for a dumb criminal, he actually wasn't dumb. Well, entirely, because the first, why photograph? And you don't ever write shit down.
Exactly.
And you don't photograph. You don't want proof of it. Have a photographic memory.
Yeah.
The very next evening, Dodd hid in the bushes along a pathway in the park. Dodd didn't find any children walking home alone. However, he did see Cole Near, who was 11, and his brother William Near, 10. Dodd approached them, convinced them to follow him where he led them off path into the woods, where he bound them with shoelaces. He then sexually abused them before stabbing them to death and leaving their bodies for a teenage hiker to find just minutes after their horrific death. So, like, if that teenager had just been a few more minutes, either A, Dodds would have been caught, or B, Dodds would have been forced to kill that teenager.
I could not imagine losing two children in the same day in the horrific way that...
I'm going to tell you this right now. Anybody come after mine, I'm not leaving it in the hands of the police.
No, absolutely
Fuck
not.
that. After, I back the blue 110%, but after reading and doing as many cases as we've seen, I wouldn't leave.
I wouldn't.
I'm smart enough to do my own investigation, and best believe, if I find out who did it, I ain't gonna need police. And they ain't gonna find his body either. Point blank.
Let's just hope that no cops ever read this. Well, read this.
Yeah, either way.
Listen to this, sir.
I don't care. You leave my babies alone. Because I don't play. Over the course of a few months, Dodd filled a scrapbook full of newspaper clippings of the boys' murder. So, it almost like he relived the crime scene.
Yeah.
Through clippings.
Okay, but back then, you had to go to a store to get these pictures developed.
Well, I don't...
How did
Because if I remember right, because, I'm that old. If I remember right, when mom and them used to go get film developed, they didn't really start looking at them until like the 2000s when photographs were, because she went and got a whole freaking thing of develops, and I'm pretty sure she was nude in most of them because Dad took them. Just saying. So like,
why?
a lot of places just didn't look at the photos. And another thing is if you had Polaroid, you didn't need the film to be developed. You know the one of the Polaroid cameras, the instant ones.
Oh.
You that one too, bitch. I know you remember those.
I do, but I don't think it was around then, was it? I don't think them was around then.
Oh yeah, because Grandma had them back when Mom was young, and Mom was born in '69.
Oh.
And Dad was born in '67, so
yeah,
he was born in '61. These took place, bitch. These took place after you were born.
Yeah.
Of course.
I just totally confused us both.
Oh my god. Bitch, you were born.
Yeah.
You're not that old. Oh my god. I forgot. Whose turn is it to read?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Oh god. Give me a minute.
Oh, bitch. Don't make my mascara run.
This is one of those episodes.
So they had Polaroids. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
He probably didn't use film. He probably used Polaroid.
Okay, now that we got that all figured out.
At this point, we might as well rename the podcast Two Dumb Blondes. Or One Blonde, One Brunette. Or whatever the fuck color it is day of the week.
On October 29th, 1989, Dodd would strike again. He would drive to Portland, Oregon to abduct a 4-year-old little boy named Lee. From a playground, Don would take Lee back to his apartment where he would molest him, photograph him nude, and then take him to McDonald's later on in the evening, as well as to Kmart to get him a toy, before taking him back to the apartment where he continuously sexually assaulted the young boy until he had finally fallen asleep.
Yeah, he was 4. From what I understand, Lee was his youngest victim. He's the one that Dodd spent the most time with, too. Like, what pisses me off is he even took this boy to McDonald's. And I guarantee you, a 4-year-old, especially stranger, wanting his mom, wanting his dad, people had to have just let them two walk.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of thinking, hey, something's not right about this, I should call the police. No, there obviously were no Karens back in the day. And if there was, they just didn't speak up.
The Karens were not Karening.
Fuck no, they weren't. Like, even now, when I see a kid screaming or crying in the store, I'll literally watch for like 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm like, And I'll debate back and forth, because you know what? I am one of those people who got kiddos and go to the store, and they will scream bloody murder like you're kidnapping their asses when they don't get the damn toy they want. But even like now, like, I'll watch just certain as a parent, there's certain body languages that you just know. A stranger or the child's movement towards that parent, you just know if it's something serious or if it's just the kid being a
Right.
spoiled brat at that time. Because all my babies are spoiled. So, like, and just the Karens weren't caring. I like that one. They weren't caring. And nope.
Yeah.
The next morning, Dodge choked the little boy until he was unconscious. And then he revived the boy, just so he could hang him from a rod in his closet. Dodds then photographed the horrific event before dumping the boy's body near Vancouver Lake. I mean, they're all hard when they're kids, but for me, this was the hardest one to kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the hardest child cases that we've done.
Yeah.
Dodd kept Lee's Ghostbusters underwear in a briefcase under his bed, containing the photographs that he had taken. Lee's body was found fairly quickly, which struck up a manhunt for the monster. Even though there was a manhunt underway, Dodd still managed to fly under the radar. Of course he did.
Well, because looking at him, you would think, oh, he's just socially awkward. You wouldn't think, oh, he's got a thing for little boys.
Which he most likely would have gotten away with with all 3 murders. But a sexual predator like Dodd can't contain himself, and Dodds would try again.
And he did. He did try again. Just 2 short weeks after murdering little Lee, Dodd would walk into a movie theater which was playing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which, by the way, I really like those movies. He wasn't there for the movie, though, unfortunately. He was there to scan for his next victim. And in a dark room, he locked eyes on a 6-year-old boy named James Kirk. James would be on his way to use the restroom when Dodds grabbed the boy, put him on his shoulders, and went to walk out. But James put up a fight, drawing attention from the bystanders, and then made Dodds put the boy down and flee. So, I mean, honestly, that's what I teach my kids. If anybody tries to grab you, start screaming 911. Start screaming help. Start screaming, this is not my parents. So in the end, the boy kind of saved himself, but Dodds also did something he normally doesn't do. Crowded area.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if the park was really, I mean, I would imagine the park was crowded when he took leave, but 4-year-olds, they're not gonna, hey, come with me, your mommy wants you, and then, or hey, your mommy's over here, and then throw them in the car.
Right.
Not this little boy. He was like, you are not, it's gonna be hell or high water for you to take my ass.
Dodd went running to his yellow Ford Pinto, trying to get away, but failed to do so. The mother's boyfriend, William Graves, went after him and was able to catch up to Dodd because his car broke down. So he's trying to kidnap a kid in a piece of shit car.
It's a Ford Pinto. What do you expect?
Touche. And when Graves caught up to Dodd, he got him into a chokehold and dragged him back to the theater and waited for police to arrive.
Yeah, so this
dude had to have had a shit ton of restraint.
I don't know. From what I understand, William grabbed him, pulled him out of the car, got him in a chokehold, and then took him back and restrained him until police. There's no way I would have beat the hide right off that motherfucker.
That's what I mean. And he had to have had a lot of restraint because...
Well, he is just a boyfriend, too.
There wouldn't have been nothing left of him by the time the police got there.
Oh, no. They had been taking him in a body bag and me in handcuffs. Fact. After being arrested, Dodds confessed to the murders of Lee and the Neer brothers. In a search of Dodds' home, police would find Dodds' diary, Lee's Ghostbuster underwear photographs, and an unfinished torture rack. So he didn't even put a fight. Like, he was busted. He admitted to it. And honestly, why I think he admitted to it is because somewhere in his sick, twisted, demented mind, he thought he was coming out of this.
Well, he had got out of it all the times before. Why not this time?
Exactly. And that's where I think he just was like, I'm going to commit. I'm just going to, admit to it, and I'm going to go home in a few months. No, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. Not unfortunately. Fortunately, it went other ways.
And as Wesley Allan Dodd's horrific crimes had come to light, Dodd didn't put up a fight. He insisted he get the death penalty, requesting he be hung the same way Lee died because he hoped it would bring him some sort of peace.
Would bring the family
some sort of peace to the family.
Yeah. No, honestly, well, I think Lee's murder was one of his greatest fantasies outlived, that he lived. And I think the way he could re-victimize the family was to be hung. Motherfucker should have got the firing squad. Wouldn't even have wasted the $2.99 on a rope.
Right.
I think he just wanted to victimize the family all over again.
Well, I think that while he was hung up, they had to give the family a stick and let them use him as a piñata.
Inserted it where he inserted other things. It is
shove sticks into his orifices.
Yes, Heather. I say firing squad, but we can debate on this all day long.
I mean,
motherfucker's dead, but I would have got more satisfaction out of the firing squad.
I mean, either way. I mean, let the family use him as a piñata, or let the family shoot him.
Would the executioner be considered a serial killer? Just a legal one?
That's very random. I mean, of course, we're random, but...
but if you think about it, how many...
he would be a legalized serial killer.
I need that job.
I mean...
I need that job. Because there would be no fucks given or remorse given either. I need that job.
Any last words? 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Sorry, too late. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear it.
Nobody wants to hear what you got to say. You're gone.
Oh no, I lost my hair. Hair phone.
We're so fucked up.
Oh yeah. There's no coming back. We're just two fucked up individuals, but we're not as fucked up as this guy. When asked why... It's the dark humor for me. No,
it really is.
Well, yeah. When asked why he wanted to be executed, Dodd stated, "I have to be, because I know I will kill again. I know I will do it again. I've been molesting kids nonstop since I was just 13 years old. So for over half my life." Dodd stated he already had his next victim to murder. "If he had gotten another chance, I'm going to," he said. Who? I'm going to. I'm not going to say who, but there is somebody out there. There is a man, he quoted.
My thing is, if you are so eager to let them give you the death penalty because you know you're going to kill again, why not take yourself out?
I don't think he had the balls. But I don't think he wanted to sit in prison, because in that time, if you see 1993, at that time, I'm almost fairly certain prisons didn't house sexual predators. They housed them, but they didn't live long.
Right, because they was in general population.
Mm-hmm. And instead of becoming somebody's bitch, he decided to take the bitch way out.
I would have kept him in gin pop and let him turn him inside out. Just saying.
I guess the hanging brought some kind of closure to the families, which I can't speak for them, but
I bet while he was in there, he was getting passed around for 2 Twinkies and a honey bun.
can you taste the cream filling? Fuck. I'm going to hell. I can't go to hell. It's too hot down there. I better start repenting now.
Oh my god.
Shit. Alright.
Could you imagine actually going to hell and seeing the guys that we are on here talking shit about?
Well, we wouldn't have to worry because most of them don't like females, so we're good.
No, but they would be like, I hear you talking shit.
You talking shit? What up, motherfucker? Oh, that, you know what? Bring it on, because we in hell, I'm sure we can plan plenty of torture dungeons.
Exactly.
Ew, except they may like that. Never mind. I take that statement back.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to heaven. At least I can control the temperature. Oh, shit, I'm going to hell. Oh, shit. Rest in peace, Cheyenne. You're going to go meet Wes. Oh, shit.
Oh, and and on January 5th, 1993, Westley Allan Dodd, at the age of 31 years old, was hung in Washington State Penitentiary.
You gotta say it. Walla walla.
Walla Walla, Washington.
Walla walla. Walla walla. You gotta get down in the throat. Walla walla.
I bet that's how he sounded while he was in jail. His was the first legal hanging in the United States since 1965.
Which I guess they made an exception. Like, I don't think the death penalty was on the table at that time. So, like, it was on the table for him, but, like, the state itself, I don't think the death penalty was on the table for him. So, like, they made a special exception, which a monster killing children and doing vile things. Of course, there's always going to be an exception, you would think. But there's some states that are like, nah, we'll just keep him in there the rest of his life and da-da-da. But they knew if he ever escaped or got out, they'd probably never catch him again because he knew where he fucked up the first time. He ain't going to make that same mistake again.
Right.
Which, his final meal that he requested was broiled salmon and fried taters.
Out of everything you could order, that is your
Why fish?
Exactly.
I mean, I get fried taters. I can eat some fried taters. That ain't no big deal. But why salmon?
I would want pizza and tacos.
Yeah, but we're fat bitches. Give me a Big Mac, motherfucker. Chinese. Give me some tacos. Like, if I'm gonna die on a fucking fat ass stomach, that's for sure. Like, I want tacos, I want pizza, I want the whole damn menu at the Chinese restaurant. Like, bring that shit on, motherfucker. Not broiled salmon and fried taters.
Sweet and sour chicken.
Like, I want to die. I want to die with good food. Don't die with some fucking salmon on up in my belly.
Yeah.
Unless it had some sentimental value, which I don't.
I don't see how you could be emotionally attached to salmon.
Oh, I'm not gonna go there. That'd be really bad.
I have a feeling I know where you're going.
I can't go there. I can't. I go to hell. I can't. After being molesting as many people of you as he has, you would think he wouldn't be able to have any emotional attachment to anything, but motherfucker, broiled? Like, who the fuck wants broiled? Like, fry that bitch. Don't broil it. Fry that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who wants to throw a piece of salmon in a fucking water, throw it in the oven, put the boiler on? Boiler, whatever. I don't even know, motherfucker. My southern accent ain't, no, it ain't accent tonight, but.
This whole episode's all over the place anyway.
It is. It's all good, though. Love us, hate us. We don't care. We enjoy it.
We really do.
Alright, well, that's going to be a wrap on this week's episode. Once again, I'm Cheyenne.
And I'm Heather.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Remember, we have YouTube, Spotify, Audible, Facebook, Insta, TikTok. And I think that's just about it. And if I forgot anything, hit us up. A new episode. Alright, here we go. New episode Sunday. Bye.